Well, here we are, NFT.London. It's so nice to meet you, Grace, and I love what your work, you and your team do at the HBAR Foundation. Tell me a bit about what you do in terms of grants.
Yeah, so at the HBAR Foundation, we give out grants in order to accelerate the Hedera ecosystem. We're obviously trying to build out our network in the crypto native space, and so we're really just trying to incentivize projects to learn more about Hedera, build on Hedera, and ultimately grow the ever-growing Hedera ecosystem.
Right. And so how did you get involved? With the grant side, and was that what you did from the very beginning, or have you had different things that you've kind of done inside the overall ecosystem?
Yes, as soon as I joined, I was covering grants for the Crypto Economy Fund and the Metaverse Fund.
Okay.
I've sort of specialized myself more towards the Crypto Economy Fund.
Yes.
So that might include DeFi protocols and developer tooling and things like that. However, still definitely playing a big role because there's a lot of overlap with the Metaverse Fund, like NFT projects that also have some DeFi elements. But I've always been helping with grants from the beginning of the grant process all the way to the end, and then making sure they're successful post-grant as well.
Right. And so how large is a grant, and is there a follow-on grant, like a small grant at first, and then more if there's proven success, or what can people expect if they're an entrepreneur and they're coming saying, hey, we'd like to build in the ecosystem, can you help us get started?
Yes, that's a great question. So I think one way that I would think about a grant program with any layer one, we are looking for the impact on the network, right?
Yeah.
So we want to see TPS, TVL users just positively impacting our ecosystem, and we have a lot of gaps. So in full transparency, the foundation was stood up in January of this year.
Oh wow, okay.
So we've covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time to try to catch up, because originally we were more in the enterprise space.
Right.
So we have small grants, we have fast track grants, which can be a really small amount, just trying to deploy a lot of funds in a lot of areas.
Yes.
And then for larger, more aggressive strategic grants, we will do milestone based.
Okay.
And so that is pertaining to some sort of benchmark or milestone.
Okay.
And then that is how the funds are released. So I would say for any project looking into a grant or looking into Hedera, we're just looking at how you will positively impact our ecosystem.
I love that. And then what's the timeline process? Like if somebody sees this in the NFT.NYC, NFT.London community or beyond, they go, oh, I didn't realize that was an option. I got to get hold of the HBAR Foundation, see if I could qualify for my idea or our established community. What would they expect? They reach out where, and it's going to take them 3 days or 3.5 years? Obviously not that, but you understand.
Yes, great question. You can go to hbarfoundation.org, and then there's a really easy apply button. Apply there. We will get back to you as quickly as we can. I hope within a week. That would be the longest. Ideally, 48 hours. We'll get back to you on whether we would like to follow up or sorry, this isn't high priority at this time. And I would say that the process could take around a month for us to really finalize things. I think that Hedera, one way that we might be different than other blockchains out there, we are very strategic and very thoughtful about everything that we do because we're really trying to we're future-proofing our grants, right? We want to make sure that the projects that we invest in or give grants to, we want to make sure that they'll be there for the long haul. We call ourselves a 100-year blockchain, and we really try to behave in that manner.
And eventually a millennia blockchain,
right?
Yes. So talking about legacy, where things have been, I also just thinking about like how we learn things. I met your dad probably 3 or 4 years ago in Puerto Rico. I always see him because we're part of a WhatsApp group together. It's like a funny meme WhatsApp group. He posts some funny memes, just so you know. But Kurt always stood out to me amongst the crypto people I met in Puerto Rico. And so what have you learned from your dad or older generations that you've applied to what is basically a very young economy and a very young group of people that are executing on these new technologies?
That is a great question.
I'm gonna tell them what you said.
Yes, so we're really getting deep here. We're getting familial. Okay, so my father was actually the one who really pulled me into the crypto space. So I think that's probably a unique story that not a lot of people have. It usually would be the other way around, like the kid is trying to explain it to the parents. I was much more traditional, I didn't want to do anything too risky. But so just to make sure I'm understanding your question, what have I learned
what have you learned from him or the older generation that you kind of applied to the, because a lot of young people are doing these things, but we still need the wisdom of our parents, our uncles, our aunties, and those that are kind of in their generation.
Yes, I would say...
I really just want you to talk about your dad. That was kind of my sneaky way.
I don't want to talk about him, but I will. So, no, I do think my dad has always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and he's been around the block, right? And I think this is a really common phrase that everyone is saying these days, but I will repeat it. People saw the evolution of the internet. They saw the evolution of these big things that people were really afraid of at first, and then obviously it became super mainstream, the personal home computer or whatever. So I think that sort of insight and knowledge from whether it be my dad or others, just seeing something that is going to be big and really trying to get ahead of that and jump on it as quickly as possible.
Good. Well, thanks for spending time telling me a bit about the Grant Foundation.
Thank you, Ian.
I feel like all that happens now, I just want to know more. So hopefully you feel the same way. And I'm glad I can bring this to you. Be back again with more of these types of conversations soon. Until then, have a happy day.